Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. It's Monday morning. It is the day that we thought that we would be celebrating, having a little bit of a hangover due to the fact that we had won the league sitting at home. But we didn't. Yes, we didn't. They luckily got a last minute goal. With 5 minutes it was added on to extra time. But where did the 5 minutes come from? Who knows? Who cares? Aberdeen, let's face it, had a goal disallowed. And I never watched the game, so I don't know the ins and outs. Anyway, Idah, James Forrest, Austin Trusty and Greg Taylor is all going to be on the show today. Idah, there was an interesting story that I seen in one of the publications this morning. Big Idah is a player who, let's face it, gets a lot of stick from fans due to his price tag. Now, it's no fault of his own. The price tag that Celtic paid for Idah is Celtic's own fault. And the headline goes on to say, is Idah just a big waste of cash? Is he a waste of cash? I don't think he is personally. I think that even Idah, the striker Idah is an expensive spectator as Celtic close in on a domestic treble, is the headline. With the league title now all but mathematically secured, but I think it's one point or something that is all we need. 2 points, the goal difference, it's in the bag, isn't it? Our next league game will certainly see that tied up. Will it be an away game at Ibrox? Will they do it? Will the SPFL do it? But realistically, 2 trophies are now in the bag. And Idah, it says, as a spectator at Celtic this season, Idah himself has went on and said, after he's switched from £9 million from Norwich City, and let's not forget why we paid £9 million for him, and let's not forget that we could have got him if the person that was in control of the transfers had got his finger out and got an option to buy clause put in with the contract, which he didn't, and Celtic were absolutely, and Brendan Rodgers was absolutely raging at it. The fee continues to appear questionable, excessive and inflated. No shit, Sherlock. Even during the 5-1 trouncing of woeful Kilmarnock side on Saturday lunchtime, Idah failed to shine. It's kind of hard to shine when everybody else is scoring goals. And there was an interesting comment by Lanky on the channel. If you notice, when Kyogo played through the middle, there was always balls into the middle of the goals. There was always crosses came in from both the wingers. When Dyson Maeda plays through the middle, there's always lots of crosses comes into the box. When Idah plays through the middle, there wasn't very many, was there? There wasn't very many, and it was something that I watched the game back, and you were kind of right, Lanky. I think that is Idah, because we know he's an impact striker and he tends to go out in the wing, or is it just the fact that at the weekend everybody was having shots at goal and it was like, well, I'm not going to pass it into Adam for him to try and score, I'm just going to take it myself. And I think that was more likely the story of the first half, considering when you see the goals and where they came from during the game. So tell me in the comments, do you think Idah is just a young guy who has had the best season of his life? His words, not mine. John Hartson has questioned the attitude for him to make the number 9 his own jersey. I don't think you can question the attitude when you've got Dyson Maeda on fantastic form. Let's just move on from it, because I think it's a nonsense story and it's people clutching at straws on a really, really slow news week. And talking about slow news week, there is one Celtic player who's had lots of joy this weekend and he wasn't in the team, and this will explain why he wasn't in the team. He wasn't even on the bench, but Celtic star photo of his daughter, Austin Trusty, yes, shared a photograph, a glimpse of his new daughter. I'm holding the hand of his new daughter. It must have been a weekend for it. And a big shout out to all the women out there around the world who have had children this weekend, and just in general, because it's a fantastic thing that women do. The American international and his wife Emily, who have recently just got married, the old shotgun wedding scenario, has had a kid this weekend. The couple marked the occasion with a little heartfelt Instagram video, the way that it's done these days. The clip sees Trusty beaming with pride as he cuddles his baby girl, and he wrote alongside it, "More than we ever dreamed, our girl is here." Austin Trusty, congratulations to you. congratulations to you, and congratulations to Greg Taylor for getting his kid on the park this weekend. Talking about Greg Taylor and James Forrest, why are we going to compare the two? Well, James Forrest has seen many players over the years come in to be a winger at Celtic, and over the 15 years he has scored in every single one of those 15 seasons. He still has 5 or 6 games left of the season where he can try and score a goal, and hopefully that he does. And he's up there. He's up there with Bobby Lennox as one of the all-time greats, and he will go on to be an all-time great in his own right. And he's a player that's had a lot of stick from Celtic fans over the year. But what has that got to do with Greg Taylor? Well, whilst Greg Taylor hasn't agreed to stay at Celtic, even though the contract is on the table, Brendan Rodgers has said that, look, I want to try and do everything that I can. But James Forrest has said, look, when it comes to the fact that I've had 108 goals for Celtic, I'd love to get that 109 before the fat lady sings, says Forrest. He says, but picking up team prizes is far more important to me. Picking up medals is far more important than scoring goals. And he's done quite a lot of that over the last 15 seasons. Can you remember back to that day on the 1st of May 2010, a long time ago, when James Forrest comes on the pitch? And you never have thought that that young guy would be here for so long. You'd never have thought. He's a machine, and he's absolutely brilliant. And the fact that he's seen players come and go over the years, you know, managers, teammates, trophy counts, they've all been left behind as James Forrest just continues his one-man band, just, I'm Celtic and that's it. You know, they should call him Mr. Celtic. And I do hope that when he does finally retire from football, that Celtic do the right thing and give him a job for life at Celtic. Because like John Kennedy, who sits in the background and is ever there, I think James Forrest, but maybe James Forrest would like to leave Celtic and go and do his own thing. You don't know. But anyway, I hope he does. But the fact that James Forrest has had all these players coming in, and the clock is ticking on his 15-year run. There's a player that he says that's at Celtic that does more in the dressing room than most people think, and it's Greg Taylor. And he says that Greg Taylor is a fantastic player for Celtic, and what he brings to the dressing room and what he brings to Celtic as a whole doesn't really get seen. Fans' opinions are split when it comes to Greg Taylor. Some want him to leave, some want him to go. After helping Celtic to win 4 league titles, 3 Scottish Cups and 3 League Cups so far during his time at Celtic, Greg Taylor has been an integral part of Celtic since Ange Postecoglou came in and changed the way that Greg Taylor played. I think it's fair to say that if Greg Taylor he's got a lot to thank Ange Postecoglou for, because if it wasn't for the fact that Greg Taylor changed the way that he played under Ange Postecoglou, came into that more midfield role, the inverted fullback role that Brendan Rodgers seems to think that he came up with the idea with, but that's a chat for another day. When he plays that role really well, and he managed to up his game, doesn't matter who came in. And I think he's got a bit, and now we don't know this for a fact, because he's never actually came out and said it. Look, I don't really want to be here and play second fiddle to Kieran Tierney. But James Forrest, over the years, has had to potentially play second fiddle to quite a lot of players. And he says, there's players come and players go, but as long as you stick in and do the work, you know, who's to say that the two of them cannot play in the same team together? James Forrest bigging up the player. He says, look, he's brilliant for the club, and if he does decide to stay, there'll be nobody happier than me in the dressing room. Obviously, in my position, you want to score more and you want to do more assists. For that reason, James Forrest says he wants to do well. We can understand that Greg Taylor also has that little bit of doubt in his mind that he'll get a lot of game time. He says, I've had that over the years as well. But obviously you work hard until the end of the season and you try and contribute, and I'm obviously going to try and get a goal. I don't want to say at this stage if I'm put on penalties though. The main thing is just to get the league done. I wonder if there is a penalty at Celtic Park or in the next couple of games. Arnie Engels has been the main penalty taker at Celtic this season, And I think it's only fair and just. We're not going to get a penalty now that it's put out there. We won't get a penalty between now and the end of the season. Not a chance. So James, you'll need to do it on your own thing. When finally secured, this will be the 13th of Forrest's career as in titles. 13 titles in a 15-year career at Celtic. He's added 7 Scottish Cups, 6 league wins. It will be 26 major trophies, edging him clear of Lisbon Lion Bobby Lennox as most decorated player of all time. Think about that, because Bobby Lennox is an absolute legend of the game. When it comes to Greg Taylor, will he do a U-turn at Celtic? Will he do a U-turn at Celtic and stay at Celtic? And what would you think? This will split the fans. What would you say if he did do the U-turn? And Greg Taylor, what do you think about him as a player? Do you think that he should stay at Celtic, or do you think that he should go? Do you think that his time's done? Do you think that Kieran Tierney coming in will give Celtic a different dimension? And Kieran Tierney definitely doesn't play the inverted fullback role. Join me tonight at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time, 9 p.m. Central European time. I don't know what time it is around the world, but join me tonight and we'll talk about everything transfer-wise this summer, because I think it's going to be an interesting summer. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.